Okay, this is our MOA National slide. Tells what MOA does nationally, the vision, the mission, and the values. And I think the main thing to get off is to get off the slide is the last thing about our values and our commitment to never stop serving. And I think this chapter actually lives up to that value very well in terms of our service to the community here in Lawton and to the state of Oklahoma. Next slide, please. This is our Southwest Oklahoma mission statement. Again, we're just trying to support the national organization with the same values and vision. Next slide. Membership update. As you look at the top, the national MOA, I think the thing to take off of that is out of 385,000 total members in the national MOA organization, only 40,000 are actually in local members of local chapters. So there are a lot of life members here in the Lawton area, Fort Sill area, that are not members of this chapter. So if you know some of those guys, please get out there and ask them to join this chapter. Some of them think that just because they're in the national chapter that they automatically belong to this chapter. You do not. And as you can see, as of the 31st of December of last year, we currently have 101 members, 75 regular members and 26 associates. And of those, 52 are national life members. Next slide. All right, our year-end review of 2025. We continue to operate the Military Welcome Center. We are very involved in both the flag and wreath emplacement and recovery at the Fort Sill National Cemetery and at the Post Cemetery. And we have a core group of folks here in this room that go out to the Mount Scott Cemetery, where it was discovered about, 6 or 8 years ago now, that there was a World War I veteran actually buried in that cemetery. And so you got John and Sam and Jim and Dennis and some other guys here that go out and maintain. They've actually cleaned up and maintained that cemetery, found the guy's marker, and they maintain that area. And we actually got a write-up in the National Magazine a few years ago about that. We're a member of the Comanche County Veterans Council. We've presented $500 to the Lawton Veterans Home, $500 to the Cohen Military Family Clinic, $500 to the Lawton Veterans Resource Center, and also $500 to the MacArthur Junior ROTC program because they are an excellent program here in town. They have won the state drill and ceremonies and unit awards for like the last 4 or 5 years in a row. And then at the bottom, that last bullet, we presented $7,000 in monetary awards to outstanding senior and junior ROTC cadets or students. We gave $6,000 in scholarships to high school seniors, and we also give $1,000 to a Cameron cadet. Next slide. We did have a successful fundraiser this year. We had a spaghetti dinner. We collaborate with the VFW Post 5263. We provide the meat and the noodles and all that stuff. They cook them up. Although this year, I think Pastor Snyder was the biggest cook, and probably contributed the most. Contributed. It's gone. Anyway, Bill was the guy that did most of that cooking. He did a great job.
Thanks, Ray. I appreciate that.
We're also involved in individual and chapter advocacy. As part of the Oklahoma State Council, I go up, Mr. Peterson, Dennis, they are, he is the past president of the State Council. We're very involved in trying to advocate with the Oklahoma State Council, Veterans Council, and also with our legislators on getting legislation that will benefit our veterans. We won the 5-star Marvin A. Harris Communications Award last year, and we won it again, and we won the Levels of Excellence Award. If you look on the side wall over here, you'll see our banner. All those awards up and down the sides or every year that we've submitted a packet for this recognition, we have won the 5-star, which is the highest level that you can get. And we recognize 3 chapter members for their contributions to the national and to this local chapter. Next slide. All right, for those of you that have been around a long time, you remember probably 20 years ago, we had a successful fundraising effort to establish national MOA scholarships. And they're endowed scholarships, and we actually get credit for 4 of those at the national level. And we did receive thank you notes from each recipient last year for those scholarships. Next. Like I said, our goal was to do 5. We actually did 6. And we have a stringent set of criteria that the Scholarship Fund Board evaluates every applicant to award. They must have some connection with the military and have a military sponsor. And the donations are tax deductible because it's a 501c3 organization. Next. As I said before, we do continue to operate the Military Welcome Center. It was initially dedicated in 2012. It reopened, it was closed during COVID, reopened in 2021, and it's operated by the Military Welcome Center Committee of our auxiliary. And you see the total numbers of volunteer hours there at the bottom. Next. Okay, I want to talk about our goals and objectives. About 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we decided that as an organization, we needed to have actually goals and objectives to set what we wanted to accomplish for each year. And then we decided we wanted to assess ourselves at the end of the year, and that's what I'm giving you now, is what our 2026 goals and objectives are and where we think we are as an organization in meeting those goals. And we use the green, amber, red. For those of us in the military, that was kind of a stoplight chart, they call it sometimes. And, you know, you were green, you were good. If you're amber, then you're on your way. If you're red, then you're not doing well. So goal number 1, we want to support the national. And then we want to have each of you go online, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, about going to our chapter website or to the national website, and you can take action. You just press a button. It takes you to our legislative guy's information, our congressman, and it will generate a form letter that you can you can edit it yourself, and it will send it to that member of Congress, either our senator or our congressman. Next, please. As I said before, we promote state legislation. Ed Peterson is our legislative liaison. He tracks what's going on at the state level and at the national level with the legislation that we want our chapter to support. Next. This is where we're trying to support our community organizations by being a member of the Comanche County Veterans Council, by supporting the Veterans Resource Center, the Veterans Home. We are going to do, in February 10th, we're going to do bingo out at the Veterans Home again. We provide between $200 and $300 worth of prize money, and we ensure that every veteran wins at least $1 during the session of bingo, and it's really fun. The guys, most of them get into it, and it's fun helping them out. Next. Okay, this is a very important one. Build chapter membership. All right, if you look around in this room, there's either a lot of gray hair or no hair. and we are getting older as a chapter. Our actual average age in this chapter is 75. Wow. And I'm one of the younger ones at 73. So what I need for you to do, I know you have contacts with officers that live in this area. Please, I have cards, should I put them on the tables, but I have them, you can come up and get them afterwards. Hand it out, it's got a QR code. Person scans that QR code, it takes them directly to our website, and then the website, from there they can decide whether or not they want to join this chapter. But anyway, that's one of our goals. Next, please. We want to recognize deserving young men and women here in the area. So we provide the MOA National certificates and medals. We go to the Cameron, we go to all the high schools in Lawton, and we present whoever the best cadet is for that year, and we give them a certificate and a medal, and a ribbon that they can wear their uniform. We changed our goal, as you see that, we're now we want to award at least 6 $1,000 scholarships every year. And we want to award a $1,000 a leadership award more than a scholarship to a qualified MS3 cadet. And I think we're at green for that. Next. We'd like to get recognized for what we do with the local media. So to that end, I did get interviewed early last year for KSWO. And then we want to award our own chapter members if they do a really good job, their achievements. Next. We want to earn national recognition for the chapter. As I pointed out earlier, we have won the Communications Award and the 5-star LOE Award every year that we've submitted a packet. The criteria is changing, though. They're going to become more stringent in what they award the 5-star and 4-star and 3 and 2 and whatever down to 1 level. So one of those things I'll talk about here in just a minute. Next goal. We want to build the financial resources of the chapter. So we want to do at least one fundraising event a year. Our goal is to get at least $1,500. Last year we got $1,950, so we exceeded our goal. And we want to get at least 20 or more Platinum or Century Club sponsors for our scholarship fund. Now, Dennis is going to talk more about this when he gets up and talks about the scholarship fund. But we've got an initiative that we think we want to try this year. For whatever reason, it did not come out on this version of the briefing. I have it on the briefing and saved somewhere, but it's not this one it's showing. And that is, we want to establish an account with the Lawton Community Foundation. By establishing that account, we will be able to build the fund up, and then it will start paying us interest that we can use toward these scholarships. Now, we're still going to have to raise money amongst us. For you guys that do donate every year, we still want you to do that. We want to build this fund up to the point where we'll have at least some of that money will be paid for out of this fund rather than you having to pony up out of your pocket. It's going to take a few years for us to do that. But I want to get us started on this year, and so that 10 years from now, when Rocky Samick is president of his club, he'll say, "Yeah, I was here when that happened." So, anyway, Dennis will talk more about that. Next slide. And you see, this is kind of boilerplate what our national organization does in terms of what we want to do as legislative priorities. I know one of the big pushes is the Richard Starr Act, which would give compensation for combat-related. There would be no more offset if you have combat-related or service-connected disability. You'll be able to get that in your retirement at the same time, and also go back to 100% of the housing allowance for every grade. Next. Talked about legislative advocacy. So you see at the bottom, for upcoming levels of excellence submissions, we're going to be evaluated on the number of times our chapters go in and actually use that function. So I'm asking each of you to go to that website, take action. You can send that email. I mean, it's very simple to do. Just go on either the national website or our own website. The next slide, please, shows that. You go on there to our home page, and it says Take Action. Just click on that button and it will take you to the national site, and then it will take you to wherever you want to, whichever delegation you want to write. Next slide, please. Again, that tells you what the key advocacy issues are on the website. Next. All right, these are the dates for next year. Our next meeting will be the 11th of March here. You see when the executive board are going to meet, and then you see that we will have another chapter fundraiser in September of 2026. And our executive board meetings, they're posted on, or the minutes are posted on the website. The agenda is posted on the website. Anybody, any member of the chapter can come to an executive board meeting. If there's something you want to come and say and ask us about, or tell us about, or information that you want to pass to us, you're welcome to come to those meetings. Next, please. And there's the last slide. I think the big one there is the last. We really need help recruiting. I know the national organization is trying to get to the point where they will, people who are in the area that are retired officers or that are officers or warrant officers, they opt out now. They want to make it a positive thing where they're automatically going to get emails from us and from the national chapter when we're having a meeting or something, rather than having to have them say, no, I don't want to get those. So they're working on it. We'll see if that really happens or not. Any questions about the chapter, where we're going, our goals and objectives? I really want to thank every one of you for the work that you do as a member, serving at the Military Welcome Center, helping out with the fundraiser. Everything that we do as a chapter goes towards getting that 5-star level of excellence award. And then thanks to Charlie Hutchinson, who is our webmaster. He runs the website and submits our submission for that award. So appreciate everybody.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What is the size of the scholarships from the nationally endowed scholarships? Maybe that's for you.
They run about $700-800. There's a $100,000 endowment down there, so that whatever they can take off of the $25,000 per scholarship. There's 4 designated scholarships for our chapter, and when I've looked at them, they're in the range of $700 or $800 per year. But it's a scholarship rather than like an interest-free loan or some of the other things that our national does.
So if they earn it one time, they have the next year, or they compete every year?
They can compete, unlike ours. If someone gets awarded one from national, they can compete in successive years, yes.
It's not automatic, though. They have to reapply.
I got you.
And one of the requirements at national is for them to write a thank you note. And they send those to us in like November or December after the scholarship's awarded. And the thank you notes are written by the recipients. National sends us a letter with that thank you note, and we post those every year on the website. If you go to the scholarship tab, you'll see those. It talks about the endowed scholarships.
Thanks.
Okay. You up?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is this Dr. Clifton?
Dr. Cliffinger.
So just a little bit more on that. It was $100,000 we raised. This is before my time. I was not involved in it, but we were designated as, where'd you go?
Sorry.
I'll let him do that. We were designated as an Eagle Society, the first chapter for doing that. Okay, well I can start without the slide up there. Again, I'm Dennis Cliffinger, not doctor. It's been my privilege for the last 6 or 7 years to serve as the president of our scholarship fund. So we don't have a lot of new people, we do have some, but if you recall, about 6 or 7 years ago, we decided to establish a separate legal entity, the Southwest Oklahoma Chapter of NOLA Scholarship Fund. The heavy lifting and getting our 501c3 status and our registration with the state of Oklahoma was all done by Leighton Dutzman. And it was some heavy lifting to get all that paperwork done. Some of the primary reasons that we established the scholarship fund is it's a 501c3, which allows your contributions to be tax deductible. The chapter is a C19, so legally, those donations at the time, and I don't think we'd ever get audited, but they were not technically tax deductible. So when we set up the bylaws for the scholarship fund, every member of the chapter is also a member of the scholarship fund. There is a separate board, there's a chapter board, and there is a scholarship fund board. Now, one of the responsibilities of the president each year is to brief the membership on the status of the fund, and then because the scholarship fund does not electronically elect its directors, we will elect some new directors here. So, as I said, we've got a very ambitious meeting today, so I'll try to be brief. So what you see on the slide here is the status, the financial status of the fund for calendar year 2025. This has been our most successful year fundraising to date. We had 27 individual contributions from 24 different entities. A couple people gave twice. And out of those, 22 of those were at the Century, Gold, or Platinum level. And I'll have a slide here in just a second. But I appreciate all those donors. It puts us in a really great financial position going into 2026. So we did, as Don said, we awarded 6 scholarships. Last year was the second year in a row that we were able to give 6 high school scholarships because of the status of the fund. So we've written that into our goals for this year. And a couple of the goals in setting up our scholarship fund, one was to make the contributions tax deductible. Another one was I wanted to increase the number of scholarships that we could give each year. And we've certainly been able to do that. So you see a balance forward going into 2025. Current balance as of today is $15,079.53. So next slide. So last year, if you were at our meeting last year, we added a recognition level to our, previously we had Century level donors, which is $100 or more. Platinum level donors are $500 or more, and then we established an intermediate level at $250. And we had 7 gold donors last year, and some of those, they increased their giving up to that $250 level, which helped us to be even more successful this past year. Some of the giving, I'm almost thinking about establishing a diamond level for those that are giving $1,000 and more. Because some people have been very generous to our scholarship fund. Okay, so we had 7 Century donors, 7 gold sponsors, and 8 platinum donors. So that's the status of the fund. Any question on the financial status of the fund for last year? I think it would break right. Okay, next slide. So the other thing, or the second thing that we need to do today is to elect scholarship fund directors. Now, we don't elect the officers, that'll be done at the first scholarship fund board meeting. But this year, we have 5 individuals that are in the middle of a 2-year term. And you see those are the first 5 listed there. Their terms will expire next January. So we will be looking to either have them continue for another 2-year term or bring new members onto the scholarship fund board next year. So please think about that. This year, we have 3 people to elect. Myself, for another 2-year term. Like I said, I've been on the board since it started. One of these years, I would like to retire from the scholarship fund board. Bill Wisnot has kindly agreed to stay on the board for another 2 years. And then Larry Kent, who is not here, so he can't renege, has agreed to a 2-year term starting in January of 2028. So the directors to be elected today are myself, Bill Wisnot, and Larry Kent. So just because of protocol, I'm going to open the floor to nominations. Are there any nominations from the floor for scholarship fund director? Remember, you're all members of the scholarship fund. Okay. Hearing none, I'll now accept a motion to close nominations and elect the proposed directors by acclamation. Okay, I got Charlie. Is there a second?
Second.
Steve, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. That always goes smoothly. Thank you very much. So, the Scholarship Fund Board officers, who's going to be president, who's going to be secretary, who's going to be treasurer, they will be elected internally by the board at our first meeting, which will occur in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, next slide. Don has mentioned this, and for the past at least a year, if not more, the executive boards of both the chapter and the scholarship fund have discussed establishing an account with the Lawton Community Foundation, some sort of permanent fund. So I've met with our local expert, Dean Love. I've had discussions with Josh Dunbar up in Oklahoma City. And what we've decided is the appropriate vehicle, and we looked at several different options, a scholarship fund, an endowment, and then we came to the conclusion that for our purposes, a donor-advised fund would be appropriate for the Southwest Oklahoma Chapter of MOLA Scholarship Fund. It can act like an endowment, but it'll be a permanent fund that, as Don said, as it grows, we will probably reinvest for the first 10 years, but it will eventually provide a permanent source of funding for our scholarships. I've left a flyer on the back if there's any questions about a donor-advised fund or the Lawton Community Foundation. I will tell you that I'm involved in several endowment funds with other nonprofit organizations here in the local community. So if you've got any questions, I will be here after the meeting to talk to you about that. As Don said, this will require a fundraising effort. The entry to a donor-advised fund is $20,000. And we're already lining up some donations, and I will probably call people individually to solicit further donations so that we can meet the $20,000 in order to get this fund started. So this year, the Scholarship Fund Board is going to work with the Lawton Community Foundation with the goal of establishing a donor-advised fund. And if there's any questions, please see me after the meeting. So, any quick questions that I might answer? Okay, I'm going to turn it back over to Don because there's some business and some checks and some other stuff.
Again, can you use your distributions from the IRA or your IRA?
Yes.
That's an excellent
Yes.
question.
For those of us who are of a certain age,
RMDs.
you can use your RMD as a QCD, qualified charitable deduction, and it comes off the top. So you won't get taxed on that amount of your withdrawal that you take from your IRA. So it's a good way to give money to good.
That's an excellent question, and that's an excellent method of doing your charitable donation. There are several members that are doing QCDs to give to the scholarship fund right now. So you can give some to the scholarship fund in the interim to provide money for our scholarships. And you saw the financial status. If we didn't raise another dime for the fund, and I'll never repeat that again, but we have in the bank right now sufficient funding for 2 years of our scholarship, which makes this a very appropriate time to look at opening up a donor-advised fund for the future. So it's really about the future. Thank you.
You know, Dennis, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So you got $15,000 balance in there right now, right?
Uh-huh.
And you got your $20,000 for the endowment piece, but you're raising easily over like $6,000 to $10,000 a year just for the regular scholarships, right?
Yes.
So if you wanted to quickly get money into the endowment, I'm not saying this is a way to do it, but I'm just thinking there's money that you could possibly move if the bylaws would allow.
That is part of it. That's under consideration to take some of that money, yes.
Okay.
Yes, the fund, the money that we have in the chapter, not in the fund, not in the
Right.
scholarship.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
we're looking at doing that.
Okay.
You are so correct, sir. I'm not done.
Yeah, you're not done. Before we get started here, though, I'd like to, Ray, would you come up, please?
I didn't do it.
We're going to install our new officers today. A lot of the officers aren't new, they're just moving from one position to another, but we do have some new guys, and we have one guy who is headed off the board after serving as the secretary for the last, 3.5, 4 years?
Something like that.
4 years, so Ray, appreciate your
Thank you, sir.
service. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, it is my honor to install the individuals who have been elected to serve as the officers of the chapter during the next year. And I'm going to call the names of the newly elected officers, or those that are moving to a new position. And I ask that you come forward and stand to the front of the room. So, Vice President Bill Schneider, Reverend Dr. Bill Schneider, Secretary Gene McAnally, Treasurer Rocky Samick, and Public Affairs Director Brian Hayes. Okay, I don't have all this memorized. So, officers-elect. The members of the Southwest Oklahoma chapter of the Military Officers Association of America have shown great confidence in your integrity and executive abilities by electing you to your respective offices. These are positions of importance and responsibility. I now ask each of you, do you accept the office to which you have been elected?
I do.
Are you ready to take the oath of office?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I accept the office to which I have been elected.
Accept the office which I have been elected.
I will perform the duties of that office to the best of my ability.
I will perform the duties of the office to the best of my ability.
And I will, in all my actions,
And I will, in all my actions,
strive for the good of the Southwest Oklahoma chapter of MOA.
strive for the good of the Southwest Oklahoma chapter of MOA.
I will uphold and enforce the chapter's bylaws
I will uphold and enforce the chapter's bylaws
and will promote the purposes of the Military Officers Association of America.
and will promote the Military Officers Association of America.
All of this I now affirm
All of this I now affirm
in the presence of the members here assembled
in the presence of the members here assembled
and before God and the flag of my country.
and before God and the flag of my country.
Please lower your hands. So I now install each of you into the office to which you were elected and charge each of you to be faithful and diligent in discharging the duties and responsibilities of your office. So, round of applause for them. Checks.
All right, at this time, we have some of our community partners and veterans partners are going to present the chapter with some checks. So, Sam, you know,
Yep.
come forward.
Yeah. JP? You want to ask Betty to come up? Right here.
Oh, my goodness.
You can see, you saw the stats there. How many people the Military Welcome Center serves? I don't need to spend a lot of time. A lot of you run shifts for years like I have. You see what it does to service members. They're tired, they come in, they get to kick back their feet a little bit for that. So we want to be, the Friends of Fort Sill wants to be part of, for now, and hopefully for the foreseeable future, being part of the daily operations and contributing to the Military Welcome Center. Okay, Chuck, you got it, buddy?
I got it.
All right.
Hey, Dennis, will you deposit this?
Okay, so now, if old Dennis will come back up here.
Back here, Dennis. Dr. Dennis.
Dr. Dennis, thank you.
Well, you just heard what what this chapter's trying to do with scholarship, and we put no parameters on this. It's how you see fit, but this could make a hopefully a part of what we just discussed that you're trying to do.
It'll make an excellent part of it.
All right.
Got it.
All right. I'll give him the money. Look at it.
He'll get the money.
I'm waiting for tips before I give him the real checks.
Checks on tip.
Yes. Pat, right? You got it.
already have the little check. So, and it's for $2,700.34. So, and it's from our Society of Military Widows. We in the past, in November, we celebrated our 52nd chapter birthday. However, it's an aging group and we can't get officers. So we decided to transition from an organization to a support system. So, you're welcome. Our ladies divided the money between VFW Post 5263 and Mullen. Thank you.
Hold on.
Oh,
How much?
$2,707.34.
That makes sense, I didn't catch this.
we split it down the middle.
JP, Chuck. All right, it's time for the raffle.
Does everyone have their tickets in the bucket now? Okay. I'm going to come down here and ask an honest man to pick a ticket. That's you. That'd be you.
I vouch for you, Chuck.
Well, if you pick your own, I'd be happy. Here, I will. Okay, we had an excellent pot today. The winner's portion, the half to the winner is $54. And that winner is 7230653. 0653.
And she donated it back. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks to everybody for coming today. Thanks to Dennis for arranging today's meal and the program. Before we close, let me remind you of some upcoming events. Our next general membership meeting will be right here on the 11th of March at 11:30. And our guest speaker for that will be Dr. Shane Hunt, the new president of Cameron University. Thanks again for coming today. Remember our motto, never stop serving. Pastor Bill, you'll close us out with a prayer.
Let's have a word of prayer. You guys, let's stand and that way we're ready to go. Father, we thank you again for another opportunity to gather together, another opportunity to see that as we serve, we do not serve alone, but we serve together. And Father, it's truly a blessing that you guide us and lead us. Use us that others may be blessed. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.